Hello, everybody. Welcome to the GT Channel livecast, which is not live yet today, but I'm here with Taro Koki of GT Channel and James McKeown. Got the name right today?
McKeon.
McKeon.
One day you'll get it right.
McKeon. Come on, Sam.
McKeon.
We're still going with that.
It's our fourth podcast.
I know. We've known each other for years now, Sam, and you still can't get it right.
And he's with NoBreaking.com. I'll just kind of ignore everything else.
Are you going to ignore Kaiju Kiwi as well, Sam? Is that what's happening?
Kaiju
Kiwi in the house.
Yeah, Kaiju Kiwi is actually the...
he's right there in the
he's right there
corner
if
of the
anyone
screen
can
there.
see him.
She.
Yes. Oh,
Sam,
all right,
she.
I'm a mess. Anyways, she is our mascot, official GT Channel livecast mascot. Let's see. Today we're going to get straight into it. I hear from Japan a couple conflicting reports, and this is fresh off the boat, as they say, of the Toyota 86. Now, the Toyota 86, we know, James drove the TRD one a few weeks ago.
Yep.
And it's selling pretty well around the world. And it brought the lightweight sports car back to the Toyota lineup. Now, the things we hear is for the next generation car. So we hear that's coming in 2021 to 2026. So we're talking way, way, way ahead.
I like that they give us a good 5-year window there for when we're going to slide it in.
Well, it's what happens to the global budget, all that kind of stuff. Who knows what happens after the Tokyo Olympics, right? I mean, so I think they're kind of giving themselves a little leeway, right? So, which is understandable because I mean, it costs something like $30 or $40 million for them to renew an all-new car, so an all-new model. So last month we reported that Toyota might be working on an MR2, a mid-engine car, compact sports car, and that might be the official successor to the 86, which is a front-engine rear-drive car. But then some say
weren't we speculating that the MR2 would be the smaller version?
It could be, yeah.
And then
so
there would be a,
exactly.
I thought it might be the K car.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, no, I think it's going to be a little bigger than the K. So
maybe it's the 1.3 or the 1.5.
1.6 or something.
Right.
Yeah.
And then there's the 86 and then the Super, right? So that's kind of like the
progression.
But
yeah.
There's a possibility. No, it might be the mid-engine car replaces the 86.
Well, that's new though.
That's new information.
That's new information.
That's
That's
the one
new
that's
information.
hot off the boat.
Off the press.
That came off a jet boat.
Yeah, exactly. The jet boat, right.
Yep.
But Subaru is saying, wait a minute, that's not the direction we want to go with this car because, of course, they have the BRZ, which is pretty much the same thing as the Toyota 86, but the Subaru version.
Trouble in paradise.
A little bit.
You heard it first here by Sam Mitani.
And, Toyota has a lot of influence on Subaru because they're big owners of Fuji Heavy Industries, which is the owner of Subaru. So, but Subaru's still a separate brand, and the Subarus, there's reports that the two companies are going to take their own paths. So what we hear is for the next car, the next version of the 86. Here are the three scenarios that we might see, and this is one direction, one of the rumors that we are hearing. So we have this car behind me, and this is the this is the front engine version. So this would be kind of a new 86, but just strictly a Toyota version. And this is of course an artist rendering, so don't say, oh, that's ugly. I mean, yeah, it's not really great looking, but
looks like a Celica.
It looks a little better than the Celica. But anyways, but this would not have the Boxer engine in it because to develop a Boxer engine, a flat engine, it's a lot more expensive than putting together an inline 4. So we hear that this one would have the turbocharged 1.6 liter inline 3, believe it or not, that Toyota's reportedly working on, and then make the car a little smaller, like James just said, but not a K car size, because if it's K car, it's 660 cc's, and all those restrictions are in place.
Right.
So this will be a world car, and this is one of the cars that Toyota would make, or Toyota. You okay there, James? All right.
He was going for a walk.
Okay.
The mascot's out and about. She's want to check on things. She's making sure there's no trouble in the perimeter.
I don't blame her. We've had a lot of technical issues today.
Checking the wire.
Yeah.
Making sure there's no ninjas.
So, and this would be the mid-engine version of a sports car, which this might be the official, right? The successors to the 8.6.
Okay.
And while Toyota has this or the other car out, Subaru will come up with their own version with a flat four engine. So,
Which is a hatchback.
a hatchback, yeah. And the reason they want the hatchback is because that relates to their WRC, right?
I wonder if this is going to be all-wheel drive.
Yeah, it's a problem.
An all-wheel
It could-
drive
yeah.
Golf
So
GTI.
that's another yeah.
Is that what we're looking at here? Golf GTI from Subaru.
Could be, yeah, could be.
I mean, it looks like
That
a
would
Golf
be cool.
GTI.
And all-wheel drive. So the thing with, sorry, I thought I turned that off. The thing with the Subaru
was
is,
it someone asking about your back, Sam? Is that what it was?
it's not my back, but someone asked me about his back.
See the cushions in the shot here.
So anyways, back to it is Toyota, Subaru says, hey, we have our own image, and that is WRC heritage, with their Impreza and their STIs, WRX. And they said, enough of the, Toyota 8.6 BRZ, and we want to do our own, and this is what they would do. And Toyota are saying, fine, you guys go ahead and do it that way. Now, the other reports that I'm getting is that they initially were having this little trouble in paradise scenario, and now they say, hey, you know what, maybe it's worth it, we work together. So another option, or another way this might work, this might pan out, or this might work out, is that they will retain the original philosophy, the original car, and work together like they have, as they have for this 8.6, for the next car as well. So, we say it'll just be an updated version of the 8.6 right now, just all cleaned up. But instead of the 2-liter flat 4 engine, which is in the car right now, we hear the F824, which is the 2.4-liter engine, which is more displacement, which means more, more torque, more power, and we're hearing 220 horsepower and 175 pound-feet of torque. And James, you drove this car, the most recent from us. Yeah, with that extra, was that 30, 40 more horsepower?
20 more horsepower.
20 more?
Yeah. 20 more horsepower and like 25 more pound-feet of
Yeah.
torque. Yeah, that's really what it needs, I think.
Yeah.
As long as they don't add too much more weight to it, I think that'd be a real good balance at that point.
I think they probably won't, right? I mean, that's the whole point of this car.
Well, you never know, but they always say that, but then there's always adding extra pounds when safety first, remember, Sam?
No, I don't, but yeah, okay. But you think that will kind of really bring the chassis to life? And
I think that's really where it needs to be.
So what would you like to see happen here? I mean, would you like to see Toyota and Subaru kind of parting their ways and coming up with their own variations of a sports car, or do you like the 8.6 BRZ so much that, hey, no, you guys got to keep this going?
I just want to see more sports cars. So whichever way we're going to go about getting more sportier cars, whether they be here or be in other parts of the world, that's all I'm all for. So I like the idea of Toyota having an MR2 or MRS, whatever, split in the lineup. I think that's a great idea. But if Subaru wants to go their own way in regards to that, then so be it. But I think that the more sports cars we have, the more opportunities there, and I think there's the more designing and more moving forward. And that's the way to go.
So you're in the variety is the spice of life.
Exactly.
Cool. How about you, Taro?
So we're talking about a lot of scenarios here, right?
Yeah, a lot of scenarios.
So we're talking about
four different cars.
Four
here.
different. So
Excuse me.
A new MR2, right? A 86 without
A BRZ twin.
A BRZ twin, right? And then a
BRZ. STI.
STI. And then continuing on with the current relationship.
Right.
There's lots of wormholes to go down there.
Yeah, there are.
But here's the thing: if you have the continuing on with this car. Oh, sorry about that. If you have the continuing on with this car, you're probably might not get all of the other three cars. For sure, not the Subaru.
Right.
For sure, not the front engine rear drive smaller car. You might get the midship car.
The midship Toyota, right? Yeah, I think that would be a fun scenario where you get the smaller, like we were talking about earlier, or last week,
right,
or last month. We get the midship Toyota, and then we continue on with the 86. I like this car. I like the 86. So we continue on with the 86, and I don't know. I mean the Subaru standalone, the GTI looks kind of fun too. I mean, it would be fun to kind of see that.
You got to pick here, Carl. Which one do you want?
I want to see everything.
James says no. He I don't think he cares about this one.
Yeah.
He says, hey, if you give me a Toyota, a small Toyota front engine rear drive, a midship small one, and a BRZ Golf GTI like Subaru all-wheel drive, give me that.
I'm all for all three.
Yeah, I'm all for all
three, or this or two.
I think realistically, it's probably continuing on this relationship.
Probably.
Yeah.
That's why we heard this.
I think this
the
one
most
makes
recent.
fiscal sense.
Right. And maybe, there's a 50-50 chance we might see the MR2 again, but I'm not sure about that.
Okay, now let me ask you guys this. Now, what if you were Subaru? Would you say, hey, let's if I were Subaru, I go, hey, I might want my own version here.
Yeah, but you know what? Toyota's
because
buying a lot of these from Subaru. It's a great business for them, though.
Well, Toyota owns
a
good chunk of Subaru.
Yeah, they
still
own
not
it,
showing
but
on their financials.
right?
It's
It
still
doesn't
showing
show
on
up. I mean, they're
Fuji's
producing a
heavy
lot of
industry,
these.
right?
I mean,
No,
I think
true.
only 10% of these are BRZs, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So they're basically Toyota's like OEM factory. So
if you're only selling 10% of them are Subarus, why would you want to keep?
It's good money. It's a good business. It's a good business.
If you're making money in the car that you can sell to someone else, why would you not do that?
No, I don't know.
Plus they can
brand
sell their
your
own.
brand image. You sell, make my own.
Yeah. Well, and they can sell their own version. Marketing wise, the BRZ doesn't really go with their all-wheel drive strategy anyway, though. It's an FR car that like not a lot of Subaru fans can relate to in the first place.
Yeah, I don't know. If I were Subaru, I'd go, hey.
That's my take. I'll
just go, hey. If most of the people are buying 90% of this car as a Toyota.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like to go my own way. That's what I would think.
I'll let you go my own way.
I want to go my own way.
My own way?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Because I can't. You guys are selling 80% of these, 90% of these. We're selling 10%. Once you guys sell 100%, we'll just do our own.
Sam, as Fleetwood Mac said, you can go your own way.
Exactly. I like the music reference. But so you want to see two cars. You want to see a new 86 BRZ, the evolution of the car right now.
Yeah.
And maybe a
Toyota
midship.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys differ a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I'm more towards James on this. I go, hey, give me the more cars, the better.
Yeah.
So
I just don't think Subaru has.
I mean, I like the 86 and all, but
I don't think Subaru has the resources to develop a mini STI, for example. I mean, they just.
Nah, maybe not right now. Yeah, because they make the WRX, right?
Right.
So yeah. So. Okay, so. You guys like the idea of the bigger boxer engine? I think that would be really cool. So, I would kind of say, hey, having the new car with a new, more, powerful engine would be pretty cool.
Yeah,
so.
The evolution of this car would be interesting to see. I mean, but I just don't want to see it getting bigger and bigger and, heavier and more powerful. That's what happens to all the cars.
Yeah.
But, so, they need to keep it a lightweight,
right.
affordable model, or it's just going to start creeping up into like the Supras and the other
You guys all like the 86 looks?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. I think it's a good looking car too. It doesn't knock my socks off in any one point, but it's pretty solid all around, right?
Yeah.
So speaking of good looking cars or bad looking cars, Mugen, Honda tuner Mugen just came out with this body kit car. That they call the RC20 GT. And how familiar is everyone with Mugen here? You guys remember Mugen, no?
I do remember a little bit.
I do.
Okay, so anyways, Mugen, it was started by Soichiro Honda, who's the founder of Honda Motor Company. His son founded it, and I met him a couple times because I worked on a couple of.
Isn't the company called like M-Tech or
it
something?
Was after there was a major. I think it was 2003. I think I wrote it. A major tax problem that Mr. Hirotoshi Honda got into. He was absolved of all criminal activity.
We won't talk about that, will we, Sam? I'll let you discuss that.
Yeah, it's okay. No, he's a great guy. He's a good friend. But anyways, Mugen is kind of back. And yes, they were called M-Tech for a while, just for legal
or are
reasons.
they not anymore? They're
There
back to
might be.
Mugen now?
I think both entities still exist.
Oh,
But
really?
this thing, came out as a Mugen, which is good because I mean, it's got such a strong identity with
Yeah,
Honda,
it's a
right?
strong brand,
Right, yeah.
identity.
And it
And-
brings it back to its PlayStation roots.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah. So they did this to the Civic Type R, and I think the Civic Type R, I think we all agree, is a fantastic car. Front engine, front drive. Is it still the fastest front drive production car in the world? Because it broke the record at the Nürburgring.
I think it broke the record, but I think there's somebody that
Renault was right up there
Yeah,
too.
I think
so-
Renault's going to beat it with their new one that comes out this month.
Okay, but it's one of the fastest front drive.
Let's be
cars
honest.
in-
If the three of us were driving it around the Nürburgring, it's probably going to be the fastest thing. Front wheel drive around the Nürburgring. There's probably not going to be much difference there, whichever car we get into.
No. Yeah,
It's going to be
14-mile lap. So
It's a very fast car. Let's put it that way.
it's for a front drive car, right? Now, last year they showed their this body kit at the Tokyo Auto Salon, and now they've refined it a bit, and it's coming out, I think, this summer or something like that. Yeah, it's summer. No word on the U.S. yet, but
Was this the carbon fiber?
it's
out
carbon
one,
fibered
right?
out. Yeah, the new one is too. I mean, the production one is too.
One, yeah.
And it's got much better aerodynamics. It's got let's see, bumpers, front lip spoiler, hood, side seals, wing. All that is made from carbon fiber, so it's a lot lighter. Okay. There's upgraded suspension, high performance brakes, single outlet sports exhaust, and new lightweight aluminum wheels, and slightly improved engine breathing, which is intake or
Mugen
intake or
wheels,
exhaust. They could be.
Yeah.
They're pretty fancy those wheels.
Yeah,
And
good.
inside there's sports steering wheel, and there's, let me see, and this is the rear. You can see the rear wing. Very, very, I think, attractive to all the little rice rocket guys, but this is very functional, as well as that whole rear bumper section. That's the car in action. And there's the interior, so you can see the sport bucket seats are pretty racy. It just looks lighter, just looking at that thing. I like it, but here's the thing. Oh my God, I think it's.
Are they doing anything to the engine or just?
Yeah, just breathing. So when they say breathing, it's probably exhaust or intake or something. Nothing in the block or anything like that, or a turbocharger or anything like that. I really never liked how the Civic Type R looked in the first place. I'm just not a fan of how the new Civic looks. I see them all over the roads in California. So this, I love Mugen. I love, I would probably love to drive this car on a track. I would not want to drive this car on the freeway. I would not want people to see me driving this car. I do not think it's very, very good looking. Oops, here we go. Comments?
Tara, do you want to go first?
Well, this thing is going to attract cops like,
Yeah, I'm not probably.
no tomorrow. I
Yeah.
mean, look at that wing. I mean,
Look at that wing. Look at that. Yeah.
it's, I mean, for the JDM import, boy in me kind of likes it. I'd like to see it, test driven by Keiichi Tsuchiya at Tsukuba, and it'll probably look great in Tsukuba and in Japan, but here in LA, I'm not sure. I definitely would not own this car, or
If you were Mugen, would you bring it to the U.S.? It's going to be pretty pricey because it's a lot of carbon fiber on there.
I mean, I think
But
they'll
it is
sell a couple of these.
A couple?
Yeah, I mean, I think
Doesn't make a good business.
I think they'll sell a
business,
couple
isn't it?
of these, body kits. I think, but I don't know if it'll be a sound business opportunity for them in the U.S.
You wouldn't.
If I was Mugen, I wouldn't bring it.
Yeah.
I'd let all the parallel, the gray importers do the rest for me.
James was chomping at the bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously, I really like this. See,
you
I've
do?
got no problems with the styling of the Civic Type R. I don't mind it at all. The only thing I
Oh, wait,
don't.
do you not mind it or do you like it, actually?
I think it looks fine. It's a boy racer car, and I'm like, that's what I want. If I'm a boy racer, if I want to get a hot hatch.
the
You are,
stock-
but James,
the
you
stock-
are a boy racer.
That's true. Very true.
The stock Type R, right? You're talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the only thing that I'm not a fan of, I don't like the 3-piped exhaust at the back. That's the thing that I'm not so much a fan
I
of.
don't think this thing has it, right? Does it?
No, it's got the single exhaust
Yeah.
here. So what I like almost everything about this car except the wheels. I am not a fan of those wheels. I think the wheels are awful, but that's just me.
Looks kind of WRC-ish, doesn't it? BBS?
No, I don't like the
Wheels
I don't
are
like the
almost like
black
the
where
only
it
thing I like.
goes out into the grey, where it goes into the polished, and then I'm not a fan of that pentagon in the middle that surrounds the center cap. It's
Is it a Pentagon? Yeah, it is.
yeah,
isn't
it really
Yeah.
doesn't feel good for me. The only thing that I'm
Oh,
also
such minor details. Just change the wheels. It's not that hard.
Sammy, I was going to
Okay.
talk about the car. I'm talking about the car.
Yeah, okay. The
other
car
thing-
in all its
and the other
essence.
thing that I will say that I'm not quite a fan of here is I don't think I prefer to have the naked carbon fiber weave against the stock like colorway. If that makes sense. I prefer it with the graphics on. So when you see it in the driving photo,
Like that?
yeah, that's what I want to be driving down the street. I want to be going to the shops and that. I want people to be see me with Kiwi on my lap, and I want to wave to all the police as I drive by them, because that is how I like to drive around town.
That's how you want to roll.
Yep, I want the attention.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I wanna make
that
sure- I
almost
want it to
reminds
be
me
like-
of Mike Tyson's
Face
face tattoo. You know, it's just,
Well, I love Mike Tyson's face tattoo, but next time I see him, Sam, I'll make sure.
No, you will
that
not
I'll
say
tell
anything.
tell him that Sam does not like your face tattoo.
Is that
Mike.
like Mugen's new?
It looks like it, yeah,
new-
because it's on the seats as well.
Oh yeah, I saw.
oh, you mean their logo-ish thing, or
Well,
what?
yeah, I don't know, brand logo
It
thing.
looks like it.
Yeah, because I saw it on the seat as well.
God, I wish we had the live cast. I'd love to hear what some of these people out there would say, because there's a lot of Honda Civics out there. Type R fans, a lot of Type R fans out
But
there.
they're still true to the color, you know, the red and the gold and the the white.
But I don't know.
I like
That
the side.
grill.
I don't,
The grill.
I don't mind it.
You don't mind
I
it?
don't mind it, no.
Oh, okay. It's all right. I mean, yeah. I mean, it looks better than the regular Type R, I guess.
Sam's like,
I mean, I think it looks real close to like the TCR series they have in Europe for the hot
Right,
hatches
that's what-
over in there, where they move across that series, where you can buy the spec car that's to can go compete in the GT races.
Yeah.
It looks like that. It's the TCR styling. I'm all down with that. I think it's real cool.
I would drive this car over the regular Type R, though. I'm just not a
Really?
big Civic fan, because you know what? If you're gonna be ugly, go all ugly. You know?
I don't mind.
You're gonna
the,
be a Barry,
I
you
don't
might as
mind
well
the
be a
stock Type R
Grizzly.
at all. I don't mind
Really?
the stock Type R at all. No.
What?
I've never imagined you now being a bear, Sam, but now you've said you're a bear. That's put everything in a whole
No,
new
if you're
light
gonna
for
be
me.
a bear, you might as well be
Well,
a
you
grizzly.
said you're
be
going to be a grizzly bear,
Yeah,
and now I
exactly.
know that you're a grizzly bear,
You
Sam.
don't want to
That's
be
put
a
whole new light
koala
on our
or a
relationship.
panda or something. So. But anyway, so would you bring this car here if you were Mugen? Do you think it would?
I think it doesn't make any.
What if you were Honda?
I think selling this as a Honda, a new
Yeah.
dealership having this and being able to do
Like
it.
a
I think-
Mugen stuff, like a factory tuner thing, you know?
Yeah, I'd be old. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
I think the idea if you could partner with them, if you don't have to spend any money on doing it, seems great. The
It would
idea you
be
could
quicker.
have this, and then also if you had the Spoon, for example, their example of a car in there,
Mm-hmm.
anything that like harks back to that, especially for those fanboys that are very much into their JDM. I think it's real.
What does the Civic Type R go for right now? Do you guys know offhand?
I think it's
Can
like
you guys look it up?
probably like
real quick?
between 30 and 40, I think. I think it started like 20, mid 20s, 27.
No, this thing would be at least $10,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which it's fine.
kit
You should
itself,
understand
yeah.
that with
Yeah.
all the carbon fiber.
But maybe make it a limited edition.
If
you
you
know,
can
with
sell it in the
Honda,
dealerships,
maybe 50 units,
yeah.
100 units. Then
Yeah,
that might be cool.
That'd sell straight away.
Yeah, because then you got the magazines. They'll be taking it to the track. You go, oh, this thing is so awesome. Blah blah blah. Yeah. So
I always wondered why they never sold Mugen parts as Honda official accessories at the dealership.
they were no, because you know what? The whole thing was Soichiro Honda, the dad, did not want his son. Did not want it to be, one of those things.
Nepotism,
Yeah,
sorts.
exactly. A family thing that, he wanted to make sure that did not happen. So even though Soichiro's son has stock in the company, probably has quite a bit, it wasn't set up for him to take over. So that's why he went and says, "Hey, I'm going to start my own
Right.
company, and I'm going to
Right.
racing. I'm going to race these cars, and I'm going to which is more fun than having to be corporate. I mean, I
yeah,
think
but
that was the way to
in
go.
reality, it was Mugen was basically like the skunk works of Honda.
Yeah,
they
it
did
was.
a lot of
Well,
development.
it's a
racing.
guy's son.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean,
So I think
Hirotoshi.
it's a great idea if they were to sell 100 of these at the
Yeah.
dealership across the US, for example, or 100 in Japan or 100 in Europe. I think it seems like a great idea.
Yeah,
If it passes all, for example, the safety testings you need to, for example, whatever, then it's a great idea because, like you say, it brings more like hyped the Type R after it's been released, because it's been out like 2 years now, would you say?
Yeah, it's
So it just rejuvenates a little bit, brings a little bit in, so you get that mystique back to it. It's free
fresh look.
publicity, exactly.
Yeah.
So why not? I say go with it.
I say 2. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing it.
I say no.
You say no. Okay, so
I said no.
We're 2 for 2.
You like it because it's ugly. I like it because it's beautiful. There we go, Sam.
I think it's a Japanese thing.
It
Leave
could
it in
be.
Japan.
It could be. It could be. Okay, so here are the 2 cars that we talked about from Japan, and that's what we got from our sources over there. But otherwise, not much else happening. So we shift our focus to Geneva, which happened last week, and boy, a lot of crazy supercars.
I know you'd throw something, you just hit a supercar.
Yeah, pretty much, which is great. You know, I mean,
I know, because
their background. Yeah.
You're the only one here at the table, right, Sam, that can afford all those supercars.
Yeah, I wish. I don't know about this one. So the first one, which what is this going to sell for? I think, what were they saying, 14 million or something? No, not that much. But anyways, the Pininfarina Battista, and Battista is the first name of Mr. Farina, who's Pinin.
I thought it was named after the wrestler Batista.
I don't remember Batista, the wrestler, but it might well be.
It should be.
It might well be. Okay. So let me give you a little history on Pininfarina for those guys who don't know who he is. He is probably one of the most legendary car designers, I think, in our lifetime for sure. Could be ever. It was founded in 1928, and they started penning cars for Alfa Romeo, Fiat, Lancia, all the Italians. Let's see, and then when Mr. Battista, quote unquote Pininfarina, met Enzo Ferrari midway between Turin and Modena in 1951, and they met. It's funny because they met halfway. It's almost like the Gorbachev Ronald Reagan thing, even though I'm aging myself. Neither would. Their egos so big they would not go to the other guy's headquarters. Mm-hmm. So okay, fine, let's meet halfway. And they met halfway, and they made a deal that Pininfarina is going to design all of Ferrari's car, and the rest is history. Almost every classic, beautiful Ferrari that you remember, even the not so good looking ones like the Mondial or something, everything was Pininfarina. And if you'll see that little F sign on there on the body, that means it's a Pininfarina. And so Mr. Battista Farina, and Pinin means, I guess, young or small in Italian, so that's where the name came from.
Petite.
Petite. Yeah, So that's his nickname, but he kept it on for his company. And then
we even had a Japanese designer, Ken Okuyama.
That's right, Ken Okuyama, who helped design Enzo Ferrari for one. I think do you have F52 or something?
F52 was it? Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah.
But anyways, he's
and a great dancer as well. I understand.
Ken Okuyama?
Yeah.
Really?
So I've heard.
What?
Yeah.
A dancer?
Yeah.
I just met him in Japan. We were on his boat. He just designed a boat for Yanmar. So really?
Next time we see him, we should ask him to show some moves.
All right. I'll go, hey, give me a little moonwalk.
Exactly.
Buddy, did you interview him for no breaking or something?
Well, he had a chat. He just had a light conversation, talked about it.
Or did you actually? Were you on the floor with him?
No, we were not doing the two-step.
No? Okay.
Paso doble is my thing.
So anyway, I think this could be the first complete car by Pininfarina.
It's a good-looking car.
It is.
I like it.
Let me see. It's all electric, which is pretty amazing. 4 motors at each wheel, so it's a 4-wheel drive car. 1,900 total horsepower. So that would make it the most powerful road car out of Italy, and that's saying something. That's the company of Ferrari and Lamborghini, and what was that other one? Pagani, right? I mean, so it's huge. Torque is 1,696 pound-feet, which is just crazy. Like the Viper's like 500 pound-feet, and people have a hard time, trying to, stay in the seat.
Serious tires for this thing.
Yeah. Only 150 units. They say 0 to 60 in under 2 seconds, maybe 1.9 seconds. Top speed over 217 miles an hour. And here's the best part: 300-mile range on one charge, and 40-minute. You use a quick charger, 40-minute from 0 to 100 charge. So you could charge your battery from empty in 40 minutes, which is awesome. and this car is actually going to go on sale in
That's
2020.
incredible.
Yeah, 2020 in Europe, and then 2020 in U.S. and Asia, which includes Japan.
So who did they tie up to do all the like the electrical stuff and the batteries and stuff like that? It's
I
like-
don't know.
I think it's Rimac who are the ones.
Is it
who's
Rimac?
gonna-
Yeah, it
it's
could
the
be
same
Rimac.
one.
Yeah, so
It's essentially the same horsepower as the Rimac as their Rimac Mark II.
Oh, okay.
And I think that's also who Aston Martin are teaming up with to go with their all-electric one as well.
Got it.
Those
Got it.
Croatians seem to be ahead of the game when
Yeah.
it comes to supercars at this point in time.
I know the Croatians of all people, crazy.
I know you don't ever think you're not fondly of them, Sam. I
Oh
know
no
you've
no
spoken
no no!
that
I love the
very much in
Croatians.
the
I
past.
don't know much about the Croatians, but oh, sorry.
Fan of Mirko Krokop.
You're gonna get me whacked. Come on, man.
I'm just
Okay,
saying,
here's the-
Sam. I'm just
here's
told-
the
I'm
rear.
Just,
I love
I'm just
the
telling the
Croatians.
people what you talk us in passing.
I think in Croatia, like they started like
I hear Croatia's a great
developing,
place to vacation too. I heard it's
you know,
beautiful.
like
there.
electric buses and stuff like that. It's they're all like more advanced than we are here.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
So there you go. There you go, Croatia, and maybe responsible for this car here. So beautiful. I think. Well, it's Pininfarina, so I don't think there's kind of an ugly shot of the.
What are your shoes are you wearing
Yeah,
there,
those
Sam?
aren't-
We need
no,
to
that's
talk
not
about
me.
those
So
shoes.
Pants
sorry.
are those?
I don't know.
I'm more
That's not
concerned
me.
about the shoes.
So.
But I will say the front end looks.
Guys,
very
and here it
much-
is. It's scissor doors type. So.
But it looks a lot like the Ferrari Sergio, the Pininfarina style at the front.
Oh, the one they made. What was it? It was this concept car that they
Well, they made 10
Yeah.
models of it, even though they didn't make 10, they made more than 10. But the front end looks very similar to that. But it's a pretty car.
Very pretty
1900 horsepower. Those
1900
shoes are not very pretty. Let's
It
just
ain't
talk
me.
about those.
It's not
Those
me. It's
shoes
not me.
are awful.
Sorry.
I don't,
I
is
don't know
that
whose
white
car is it.
socks as well with them? I mean, we've got
Yeah.
to talk about his white socks, Sam. We've got to look at that. But it's a great car. I'm sure it's very, very quick. If anyone at Pininfarina wants to let me have a drive and fly me over there, I'm more than happy to. I promise I'll wear much nicer sneakers and sock combination, and my
It's
pants
not me.
won't be quite as tight.
It's not me.
I'm
Okay.
really impressed about this 300-mile range on a 40-minute
Yeah,
charge.
yeah,
I mean
that's what they said.
that is
But that's a
that's
Type 2.
incredible though.
And then so you've got to work back on where you can actually charge a Type 2. So there's not many, for example, in Los Angeles. I think there's very, very few Type 2 charging stations.
Oh,
Really?
Okay, yeah.
So
yeah.
yes, I think
Oh,
there's only
okay.
2, for
But
example, in
by
Los
the time
Angeles.
this comes, 2021, we might
Yeah,
have
we
more.
might.
Well, you
might
just have one
one.
at your home, and you don't
Well, you
really
can
need
have one at home. Then you don't have to charge
Right,
at work
right.
or
Yeah.
I mean,
No,
it's
no,
a
one
300
day, unless
mile.
who would
Right.
want to drive this to Vegas or San Francisco or something?
Anyway,
so,
right?
yeah, not me.
I'd drive it anyway. I'd drive it to Alaska.
Well, if you had the range,
I'd stop everywhere.
Yeah.
Just make
but
it
it
go
is.
longer.
Yeah, it is a very pretty car, and to me, Pininfarina is maybe number one when it comes to the car
So
designers.
why did they decide to suddenly go ahead and build a full car?
I really think why not? Why not? It's a new era of supercars that come in. It's electric. Maybe they saw an opportunity. Everyone's kind of switching. Look at Aston Martin, as we'll get to. Ferrari's slowly, getting into hybrid technology. Especially with their braking and all that stuff. So.
I
don't know,
mean,
maybe they
Koenigsegg outlined it and put the profile down there. You can make an electric car. It's going to be fast. It's faster than anything else. The combustion engine,
Right.
when it comes to numbers,
Right.
it cannot compete. We all have a love for the sounds the combustion engine makes, but performance-wise, it cannot touch an electric-powered car. I mean, the linear acceleration, the pounds-foot of torque behind, the fact that you're only going to need to have one gear, one to go forwards all the way, one to go backwards just as fast if you want to. This is the sense of where the future is going.
Yeah, maybe they thought it was a good opportunity.
I think
It's just
Yeah,
a good-
exactly.
yeah.
That's right. I
Right.
think they saw an opportunity. They said, "Hey, we
And I
can come
think-
up with our own car
Yeah, and I
without
think
all the
Right.
engineering.
And
We're
they're just
not
building
behind.
a new electric car.
And I
so-
think that the premise is, I know that obviously Pininfarina's, I think it's changed hands a couple of times in regards to ownership and whatnot. And I think that they've felt that if they can get the jump here, style it, and get a jump ahead of maybe some of the other OEMs, say for example, that play in that market, they can maybe sell a few models. They've
They
said
could.
150, maybe they don't hit the 150. Hopefully they do. But if you can
Yeah,
get out there
150 units. Yeah.
and you can make money on it and the ones that you sell, then it's all good because it's making money for the company.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
And-
you saw how easy. I won't say easy, but how quickly, let's say, Tesla came up with their electric car. I mean, they came out of nowhere, and all of a sudden they're selling.
Well, they raised a lot of money though.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Pininfarina, they
Pininfarina
might be able to raise a lot of money.
Probably raised a lot of money too.
So,
I mean, they probably needed.
even though
money.
Tesla's a little, they're a little iffy these days, but so I'm gonna detour a little bit. What do you guys think of Tesla? Do you think Tesla's going to be here to stay? Now that BMW, Porsche, Audi are really getting serious into about the electric car business, are Tesla's days numbered? Were they in a market that no one else is? But eventually these guys are going to come in. We all knew that. I did not touch Tesla stock, which was funny. It was at like 70 something bucks, and one of my friends goes, "Would you buy Tesla stock?" I go, "No." I said, hey, it's I mean, you're telling me a car company, electric car, yeah, but that BMW, Toyota, all these guys who've been building cars for hundreds of years aren't going to get into this market and just wipe them out. And then all of a sudden, boom, a few months later, that stock at 70 bucks is over like 300 bucks. I go, Sam, I thought you said this. I go, I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I'm still not touching Tesla stock. Well, I don't know. I'm starting to see the legs run out now. What do you guys think?
I think it's all about cash. As long as Elon could keep the cash flowing, they'll
He's
keep
having problems.
But he's having problems. So it's not as easy as I think anyone thought it
But
would be.
BMW,
Yeah, because everybody's starting to get into the race, and
everyone's starting to get into the race
and
seriously
they're losing
now.
money like crazy, like every day. It's like I forgot. I read somewhere that
I know
like
we're not
hemorrhaging
businessmen
money.
here, and maybe our audience isn't business, but I think Tesla's going to be in trouble in a few years. What do you think?
I think they've been in trouble. Financially, they've been in trouble. They're losing money like
they're
every day,
the Model
like
S,
crazy.
you're right. It's a beautiful car. Their designs are fantastic, but
No doubt.
I haven't bought one yet. I haven't even thought about. I thought about buying a Model S, but I just haven't pulled the trigger yet. I don't know.
All the Tesla users that I've spoken to, they love
it.
their Teslas.
Absolutely,
they love their Teslas.
yeah. Even the magazine journalists,
Yeah.
they love it. So, but as a company, I'm wondering, especially with the big boys starting to show up,
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think, James?
I think that while Elon is certainly a very, very smart and intelligent guy,
He's an innovator.
he's an innovator. I think that he's
changed
got too much on his plate, that he's getting pushed and pulled in different directions with what he wants to do. He wants to do so many different things, but he thinks he's able to come up and do that. But the challenge is then realistically is everyone who wants to believe in Elon wants to believe in investing in the man rather than investing in the product. He's obviously had his ups and his downs in the last
he's
12
kind of
months.
melted down a couple times, the SEC thing and all.
So it's difficult to say. I mean, the car, it's a nice looking car. I think
Cars, because the Model 3 just is coming. They just announced the Model 3.
Yeah, then the Model X, they're going to produce the Model Y or whatever is the next one they're going to do. And they're going to maybe make the trucks. And
Exactly,
maybe
he wants to make a
the
big
other.
truck.
The trucks, right? The unmanned trucks that they're coming out with.
I love his imagination. I love his,
his
future
visionary thinking
love
is
his
one way to
vision.
go.
That's
But
exactly
I mean,
it. Yeah.
when you sit inside some of the cars, the build quality is not ideal. When you hear about them putting up tents outside the factory to make cars, that's not ideal.
Yeah.
The idea of this Silicon Valley attitude of this, that to go, and then obviously you have a product in a car that's called autopilot that's not meant to be used as an autopilot.
Well, yeah.
That will change though. That will change, especially.
Yeah, but they kind of jumped the gun, I think. So
Yeah.
No, it's the idea of what is it? The Silicon Valley mentality is to break things and then fix it afterwards. Mm-hmm. I think with cars, I think that it's coming to a point where everyone makes excellent cars. Everyone makes excellent cars at a reasonable price. So how are we able to do that when you're trying to break all these rules all the time? When people are just like, well, we make a solid product. It's good. It's reliable. It looks good. It's just difficult, I think, for them to see where it goes. So I think that they're going to certainly have some challenges moving forward, especially with the likes of Audi coming into the market with their cars that are going to be coming through.
Audi, BMW, Porsche, right?
Yeah, with the Porsche, with going to be their superstar one that they're going to come through with. The I think the Volkswagen Group is going to be very much in
Volvo
their
already.
Yeah.
Volvo with the Chinese investment into it, where they make the batteries anyway.
I think Volvo is going to be one of their biggest competitors, because once they get into like trucks and the unmanned like semis and stuff like that, it's going to be like Volvo and like all these companies that make the bigger trucks.
Oh, and don't forget Nissan. Nissan's been
Well,
you know,
Toyota is
yeah,
the one.
Toyota
Toyota is
is
the one
in
already do,
Japan.
and they've got the ones, the Port of Long Beach
Hyundai
in
is
Los
gonna-
Angeles.
yeah, like
because
all
they've
the-
got the Mirai batteries that run in the trucks, and they're able to go with the 300 miles now on the range.
Right, but you know, the unmanned trucks are going to be like, if Tesla can get into that market really quickly and kind of like corner that market, I think they have a chance.
The challenge with the unmarked trucks, though, that they want to do, especially at the ports, is the problem they're going to have in the ports is the unionized labor is not going to let them in.
Well, like for like, I think they'll still have seats for like the close range stuff that's going to happen, but like all of like the long distance stuff on the freeways, like just going straight for miles and miles, that's all going to start changing, and that's going to be all unmanned in
Well,
in a
it's
few
that's
years.
matter of time for sure.
Yeah, it's a matter of time.
Yeah.
And if Tesla can hold out until, you know, that
Matter of time.
you know, threshold,
I think
they
there's
have
going
a
to be the
big
challenges
chance.
that are going to come through will be.
I think as soon as next year, if you ask me,
No,
that
I
you're
think-
going to see fully autonomous cars on the road.
I think that there's going to be the state regulations that they're going to have to wrap their heads around.
They're going to have to, yeah.
Which will be the challenge. You can have it obviously in state, but then when they're going to be crossing borders to do it, that's when I think there's going to be challenges going to come through.
I mean, think about this. I mean, what's going to happen when you're on full autonomous mode? Your car's going somewhere, and then a family jumps out. But then if the car swerves to get out of the way, it's going to kill the driver because it's got to hit something. You know, I mean,
Sam, you're posing questions that no one has an answer for.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
there are a lot of scenarios and stuff, you know, regulation stuff ahead. I think so. It's
Yeah,
you
I
know,
mean,
but I
definitely
think
they're
it is
challenged,
coming.
but it's going to
I
come.
think it is coming.
I
It's gonna
agree.
come.
It's
Yeah.
definitely going to come
Yeah.
that way. And then just hopefully you're not a truck driver and going to be out of a job then at that point.
Ooh, yeah, that's another thing. Yeah. So
It's going to happen though. Hey, by the way, here at Pininfarina, they raised, they invested over 20 million in this car to develop this car. So they got monies.
20 million.
somewhere,
If they're
yeah.
going to sell 150 units,
At how much?
I don't know. We don't know yet. So that's.
I'd say it's going to be at least a $3 million car.
Oh, it's got to be. Yeah, they got to get their ROI, you know, on that. So return on investment on that. So. Well,
Related to the Remax
and then
C2.
going back to the wonderful gasoline engine supercars here. This is called the Ferrari F8 Tributo. And
I
Tributo.
wonder what Tributo means.
Yeah, well, it means a tribute.
Tributo.
Yeah.
I like that Italian accent. I thought you were Italian next to me. I thought you were my
Mitani.
heritage.
Yes, my last name is Mitani. So, anyways, this
Mitani.
it looks it's obviously the 488 GTB successor because it looks just like it. You know, especially the rear fender part with the vents and stuff. And they say this is a space holder for their next car that's going to be slotted in this category. So I think we can almost say this is going to be the last V8, turbocharged V8 that we'll see in this category for
What
Ferrari.
a great looking space holder though.
Yeah, it is. But
pretty.
and the tribute is the Tributo in the name is referring to a tribute to the V8 engine. This V8 engine, Ferrari's V8 engine, which has probably one of the greatest sounds in all of automobile, the entire automobile industry, won the Engine of the Year in 2016, 2017, and 2018. So it's a very, 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 very highly respected engine. If anyone's ever heard it, I think you can understand. It's an awesome engine. This the one in here is a 3.9 liter V8, 710 horsepower, 568 pound-feet of torque, which is 50 more than the 488 GTB, and about the same as the limited edition 488 Pista. Excuse me.
Language, Sam.
Exactly,
Language.
which debuted at Geneva last year. We
Had
could
to
take a
beep
look
that
at it.
out
It's
later.
a beautiful. That is the 488 GTB, so you can see it looks a lot alike.
Quite similar.
Yeah, quite similar.
Yeah.
But it's beautiful, beautiful car either
Where-
way. And we have a Kaiju Kiwi here losing his lunch or something.
Yeah.
Gonna spit out a hairball or something.
Hairball or something. This car is 40 kilograms lighter, which is about what, 15
pounds.
pounds? Oh no, I'm going the other way. No. Wait. Well, you're right.
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
going the other way. I'm going the wrong way. About 100 pounds lighter than the 488 GTP,
Small
which
kid-
is
small
0 to
kid in the
60,
back.
0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds, very quick, and top speed 211 miles an hour. And they say this car has 10% better aerodynamics than the 4088, and it still has that Pista S duct, which is I'll show you how that stuff works. It's their aerodynamic technology that they got from Formula One. That's the rear. It's a beautiful car. Again, I think this is a Pininfarina design. Oh, going a little too early.
It's gotta be.
Yeah, here's the beautiful interior. I mean, that's the 4.8 GTP. It's just a beautiful, beautiful car. Oh, I don't have I have to find the piece. The S duct is the air that flows right through over the hood there, and through the side, so it keeps the front end down at high speeds. Yes.
Planted to the ground.
Planted to the ground. What did I say?
Downforce.
Downforce. Called downforce. Very, very important in high-speed driving. Yes. Thoughts about this car?
Where do I sign up? How much is this car?
I don't know. I don't think they announced prices.
Sam, where are you getting with the prices here? We need numbers here, Sam. Sam, I thought you were going to go behind the kimono, get the prices for us.
Behind the kimono.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I'll do that next for next week. They just introduced at Geneva, man. But when you guys check what the 488 goes for right now, GTB? It's going to be a little more. It's going to be pricier than that because it is lighter. It's got more technology. So
I'm going to make some money too.
Yeah.
252,000.
So we're talking about 300. Yeah, we're talking about a close to $300,000 car.
Yeah.
But here's the thing with Ferraris, man. Especially in this class, they don't go down in price.
No.
So
they do
for
a time, and then they'll appreciate it.
Right. Yeah. So.
But I think the challenge, though, especially with these modern Ferraris, is the volume that they're making in regards to how
a little more than
the older style.
Yeah.
So, like anything, I mean, obviously, if I've got the money to spend X amount on a Ferrari like this, then I want to spec it up, and then you make some money on those accessories there, because you can't obviously get a stock Ferrari.
Yeah.
Who wants to buy a stock Ferrari?
I want to buy a stock Ferrari. Why would you touch that thing?
Tara would look down at you and be like, Sam.
Oh, did we have this conversation before? You would tune your Ferrari?
Of course.
What on earth?
I wouldn't make it look like that Mugen that we just saw there.
Oh!
I would probably do the exhaust. That's probably as far as I
Dude,
would
the thing sounds perfect.
Maybe get an
This is a heresy. You guys are. That's like let's get the Mona Lisa and draw a mustache on it.
I don't see a problem with that, Sam.
You wouldn't, would you?
Change the background a little bit.
At $300,000, is this the car you would buy? Is it a McLaren?
I would buy this car if I had the money.
McLaren, Aston Martin. There's a lot of cars you could buy.
Like we said, I mean, it's not going to go down in value. It'll go down a little bit, but I mean, it's
could,
never going to go down in value. It's going to go up. I mean,
Well, I don't think the McLarens are going to go down. I mean, right? What's the F1 go for right now? Right, the BMW.
Oh,
McLaren BMW. It's like
15 million.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you guys hear about the Supra that went for $173 at Amelia?
Yeah, I saw that.
Amelia Island.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's crazy.
How many miles did it have?
Crazy.
It can't have much, man.
Not
it's gotta
much.
Be,
I'm sure it's pretty, mint, but I mean, if a Supra goes for 173, just sell 2 of those and buy this one.
This one before any of your
I don't know.
British,
I think
would you go British?
I'd probably go British. I think.
Yeah, you would.
I think, but it also, I think it's all
a McLaren maybe before this.
I think it's also different when you're shopping for cars of this ilk. I think it's the accoutrements that come with it. So, for example, if your
accoutrements,
your dealership was to offer you to go to different events, or if you're able to have different options to do things.
For
example,
you mean the bling?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So example,
don't they throw that stuff in when you buy something like this though?
No, I think by throw it in, I mean they give you the chance to spend X amount of money
to
do this thing.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, Aston Martin obviously has their snow driving things, which looks kind of fun. I mean, it's a whole world of things. All the cars look very good.
Yeah.
All the cars go very fast. I think it all depends on what your relationship is with your
right.
who wants to go down to that point. I think it'd be difficult to choose.
Lamborghini had they have some of those programs too. Our friend Dai was at an event. I think he was like in the French Alps for like 10 days driving folks around like Lambo owners in the snow. He was like teaching them how to drive 4-wheel drive Lamborghinis around the snow.
Yeah,
and they do fun stuff like that for owners. Like
so that's what I mean.
They got money.
Yeah, exactly. They invite them out.
Why not?
I mean, what else? They could sit home, count their money, wait for someone to call.
Yeah.
No one will call because
a pro drifter is going to drive you around in the snow. He's going to teach you how to drive in the snow in your Lamborghini.
Okay, so you would say you would go British, so that takes us to our next car that they showed at Geneva, and this is the Vanquish Vision Concept. This is Aston's Ferrari fighter. And
It's British.
if it becomes a production car, they said it will be the company's first mid-engine performance road car, which is, I'm thinking, it can't be, but yeah, I mean, most of their cars were front engine. So, and when we say mid-engine, you know, the engine behind, you know, because they have front midship, they say some of them. And 3 years ago, the company unveiled its first mid-engine concept car or race car, the Valkyrie, and I have a picture of the Valkyrie in here somewhere. There it is. And that's a $4 million supercar that they've developed with Red Bull Racing. They say the Valkyrie is kind of the little brother, the less potent version of the Valkyrie. The Vanquish Vision concept is, and they also unveiled at Geneva an entry-level kind of Valkyrie, which is a hybrid car. So everyone's kind of going hybrid, and that's the car, and that's called the AM, excuse me, AMRB003. AM stands for Aston Martin, RB, Mr. Brown, probably.
No, Red Bull Racing.
Oh, Red Bull.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Not David Brown. No, not David Brown.
Oh, yeah, that's right. David Brown. It's not R. It's
You're
not
thinking
Richard
of Ross
Brown.
Braun.
I'm thinking of Ross Brown.
No, it's Adrian Newey has
That's
all
right,
the designing.
Yeah, the DB5, DB7s. Okay, the Vanquish name is coming back with the this car, which is awesome. It's good to have the Vanquish name back. And this will arrive in production form in 2022, so it's coming for sure. The Vanquish won't use a carbon fiber chassis, but instead built on bonded aluminum structure. It'll share its V6 with the AMRB003, though the Vanquish won't use the same hybrid system, and it may not be a hybrid at all. So we don't know too much about it yet, but we do know it's coming. Is this something you like?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, because it's a cool Aston Martin's kind of
so it's designed by Adrian Newey, obviously the famed Formula One
or Red Bull
designer, engineer. I think it's great. It fits in with this whole new slick line, and like I said, I mean, let's be honest, it's a similar ilk to the Ferrari that you just saw. It also reminiscent of the Aston Martin Hydrogen one that was in the James Bond movie, driven by Battista when he was in that movie.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
So it sort of fits that ilk as well. From this side vision, it very much looks like a modern uptake on the McLaren F1.
And you could tell it is mid-engine. You could see where the engines fit in there.
So, I mean, I think it's a good car. I think it's very much in competition with the McLarens.
Lamborghini also.
Yeah.
Sure, Ferrari. Yeah.
So is this going to be like a plus million car?
It could be,
right?
but it
no,
might not
no?
be. It might
No,
be a
this
$300,000, $400,000
Yeah, this
car.
is going to
really?
be.
Okay.
This will probably be one that's going to go straight head to head with the four.
That's what they say.
Tributo. Yeah.
It'll be more economical.
Yeah,
At,
they're definitely the
$300,000.
cheaper end of the spectrum. Their budget offering, maybe.
But it's I love Aston Martin as a brand, as you know, forever, and it's good to see them really, you know, kind of broaden their reach. I did not like them as much when they were part of the Ford group, you know, because I thought it kind of watered them down. But once they broke free, you know, and it's good to have that Aston Martin back as the James Bond car. I think it is.
Is that the reason why like some Ford cars like kind of look like?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like the
I hated
Ford Fusion or whatever that car.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
Because that was Jay Mays. Yeah,
right.
And that was the designer of Ford at the time. And and back then it was, you know, Ian Cam, the designer of Jaguar. Jaguar, did I say it correctly?
Jaguar.
Yeah. So, and Ford just said, hey, they're part of our, you know, this is part of our DNA.
Let's just take it.
Yeah. So that is correct. That is why.
Design. Yeah, I hated that.
So anyways, you like it too? You good?
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, it's good.
The Valkyrie.
I like Aston Martin. I love the brand.
The Valkyrie, this thing is crazy. Just, you know, going back to it, you know, this is also Red Bull Racing and Cosworth. And the engine is Cosworth, and it's a 6.5 liter V12 that has 1,160 horsepower and 664 pound-feet of torque. So this thing is a monster. So whenever we see that coming, and I love some of the old, you know, the Aston Martins that the last several years, like the 177. Remember that?
Yep.
They only made right.
I like the DB9. You know,
DB9 is an interesting cars. Yeah. So it's good that they're kind of going after the supercar market here. So it makes you proud to be a Brit. Yeah.
Of course,
Yeah,
Sam.
of course.
I'm never not proud to be a Brit.
Of
maybe
course.
at your new job you can, you know, gonna drive.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Don't
But
don't
what
jinx
about
it.
I didn't say it.
what about the next car, Sam? The more important one. When are we going to get to that?
This hideous looking thing.
Oh, I think this is not hideous at all, Sam. This is the Ginetta
This thing,
Akula, which
this
I
thing?
understand from my Russian
Let's see,
heritage
like-
means shark.
like some women and men. Maybe it looks better from behind. Yes, it does a little bit.
Well, as soon as it gets up on the screen there, Sam, so
Oh,
we can
it's
have a look.
sorry,
It's not
sorry,
moving.
sorry. Is it? Oh,
No, it's still not moving, Sam.
okay.
You broke it.
It'll come. It'll come. It'll come.
Technical issues again.
Okay, hold on. Okay.
Oh,
By the way, in Japan, this car would be the same as an Acura.
What?
Huh? In Japan, it'd be
Oh,
an
oh.
Acura. Akula. Akira.
Taro, only you can
No,
get away with that
Exactly.
joke.
I didn't say it.
So this is at Ginetta.
Is it up?
Yeah,
up,
it's up
okay.
now.
Yeah, it does look better. And you know, I think in my contract,
It's like the Mugen version.
yeah,
of,
I think I'm prohibited by talking about cars that look this ugly. So James, go ahead and give me the intro. on
Look,
this.
all I'll say is I really like this car, and everyone has to go and search for the YouTube video where they see it going on track, because the sound is incredible. It sounds like an LMP car. Obviously, Ginetta Cars has their famed racing heritage.
That's
This is their take on producing a production car. It's similarly balanced to their LMP2 car, I think.
You know,
it
you
is.
had that car on your screen for like the past
I
20
know.
minutes. I mean, were you waiting to
I was
get
waiting
to
to
this?
get it in. I
I
like
was
this.
trying to stall. I don't know.
It's also built very close to where my family live in the UK, so in Garforth, which is just outside of Leeds. I think that
You want to give us the exact address?
I think you can probably look it up
Oh, you're
on
good.
the
Okay, I'm
Google.
just joking. You don't want to do that.
I think they're looking to sell 40 cars. I think the price is around $340,000 or £340,000, I think.
Oh, so that's about, we're talking 500,000.
Yeah, 550 brake horsepower, if I remember correctly, around there.
550?
Yeah.
Kind of tame.
Well, maybe we can
compared to some
get
of these other-
Nigel to snap some pictures if they're test driving this
We
thing
can.
around your
I can
neighborhood.
certainly see what I can do.
Yeah.
You're-
Shout out to
you're-
Nigel.
Yeah, you're good mates with Nigel, right?
He is. He's my father, Sam. So hopefully, I'm still friends with him. He still hasn't forgotten your name, as remember we've already discussed this, Sam. That you're still pretty high on that level of Nigel McKeon irritability.
I know.
It is.
I know.
There's only one thing.
I love him, but
There's only one thing that's going to bring that back, and that's him. He's just started listening to the prototype novel on Audible.
oh yes.
Oh, nice.
Yes. So
Does he no feedback yet?
no, not yet. He's just into chapter 2, but he just wanted to say he started. And also remember out there, where can they purchase the prototype novel, Sam?
Amazon, please. Amazon.com. Put in my name, Sam Matani, or Sam Matani Prototype. Thank you for the quick plug, but yeah.
That's quite all right.
you're
There was
good.
another thing I was going to plug today, but the sales of them are selling even hotter than hot cakes. It's the GTChannel T-shirts. And I was hoping to get one today, but Tara did not have one to give
I
me.
do.
Wait.
I
He
actually do
said
have one.
We had an email from him saying
He did, but then he didn't
he
provide
never
it.
offered.
So I assumed he just sold out already this morning because the new stock was coming in.
We are sold out.
He's
So-
not even wearing one.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so that's
so-
so speaking of that, where can the people get those T-shirts from?
Wait,
Tara?
when can we get this car?
Teespring. Well, you go to
Does Ginetta
Ginetta Channel.
put money down there now,
If
Sam?
you watch
You
any
can?
of our
Yeah.
videos,
Oh, I didn't know
the little link will come up on the bottom, so you can.
So if
find
they're
them.
watching this video, you could put a little link up now and it'll show up.
Yes, it'll show up, and you can buy a GT Channel T-shirt.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Several designs
I like that
out
idea.
there. Yeah.
I like that.
I didn't know that, really.
I'll run over there right now and get it.
Well, you don't have to do it right this second. We're almost wrapping up here because we're, just right around the hour thing. Okay, so before we go, let's go from this hideous-looking car to one that's a lot prettier, the LC500. I should have it. There it is.
There it is.
Beautiful. You want to tell us about it? Because someone got to drive it recently.
While
So you want to show it
yeah.
in the camera? Okay.
what? The
What?
T-shirt, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
is
I'm
that
gonna
what
go
you
run
mean?
and get it while.
Alright.
This
Okay.
is the magic
James-
of television. Is Tara can shoot out now and try and get a T-shirt while I talk about the wonders of the Lexus LC500H.
Old man.
It's a great car. It comes in, I think, starts around 92,000 for the V8 version, 96,000 for the V6 hybrid.
Right. And you drove the hybrid, correct?
I've got the hybrid right now, actually. I think the version I've got sitting at around 108,000 with all the add-ons.
Okay. It's getting up there.
It is. I mean, It is a good-looking car, as people can see.
Yeah, it is a beautiful car.
And the interior is absolutely exquisite. It drives great. I think if I was suggesting one to Nigel to purchase, this will be the one I get. I get the V6 hybrid over the V8. Doesn't make as much, it's not quite as loud. The fuel economy is better.
Is Nige in the market for this?
He's always in the market for something.
Wonderful.
When he's, oh my word, we've got options here for
Yes, we
T-shirts.
do. All right.
Unbelievable.
Please continue.
Anyways, yeah.
The main challenge I found with it is the luggage space. There's really not much luggage room. I mean, after I put the Pelican case in here for all the gear today, there was no room left in that boot. So it really is. I'd say it's a great Grand Tourer for a weekend.
2 overnight bags.
Yeah,
maybe
at a
that's
push.
about it. Yeah.
But
without the kids.
Yeah.
Of course.
Does it have a back seat?
It has
It
a
does.
very,
Well,
very.
It's not really a.
No,
Yeah,
really
it is a
not.
back seat, but
But
it's
but
not very
you
usable.
Can't fit anyone in there.
Yeah.
When
Unless-
when I'm sat in there, and I'm not as tall as Sam here, who's obviously like an Adonis 6'8", flaming head of hair.
Yeah.
I think my 10-year-old would be probably comfortable back
No,
there, right?
even then, I
Not
think there'd
really?
be very
Like no, like seat-
there's real no seat room,
leg-
which
leg
is
room?
leg room. Yeah, at
But
the
it's
back.
still called a 2+2. It's called a 4-seater, so insurance-wise,
Yeah.
you're going to get a cheaper rate.
Right.
But I think it'd be better if they converted those 2 seats at the back to a suitable place for luggage. I think it'd be much.
By the
more...
way, you know, I went and found this photo and I put that up there. You didn't really supply your own photo on this one.
No, I
I
didn't.
kind of
Sam.
saved you here, you know.
That's probably what most people
I'm
do.
doing all
anyway.
your-
They just put bags in the back.
Well,
right?
no, that's what I do for everything. I just make Sam do all my work for me. I mean, that's
Exactly.
that's the whole point.
I got to put bags into the back seat for him.
Yeah, I mean, I put all the images in there for the Ginetta, the Akula.
But look,
The Acura.
you didn't have a rear.
Acura.
I did.
Are you sure about that?
Does that
positive.
does this thing come with like a roll bar? Is this a street car, right?
Yeah, it's a cage, full cage.
Yeah.
See,
Wow.
you can see the cage at the back. So I
yes.
do very much like the Lexus, but it could definitely be improved upon in regard to the other little finicky things that accept you. I'm not really a big fan of the touch phone. It's
Yeah,
it's a bit
me
of a
neither.
pain.
Well, but that's in all the Lexuses.
It is.
So
It is.
you live with the
the cluster.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
thing.
the
touchpad.
control. Yeah, touchpad. Yeah,
And then it doesn't work with Android phone like I have as well, which is a bit of a pain compared to that. And then finding the USBs, I still don't know where they are. So if anyone wants to let me know where they are, they can let me know after the fact. But other than that, I think it's still a lovely car.
Is this the best looking Lexus ever?
I don't think it's as good as the
What's better
LC.
looking? This is the LC.
No, I mean the previous one, the Nürburg edition that they had, the V10.
The LFA.
Yeah, sorry, the LFA. Sorry,
LFA,
getting confused about my
Yeah,
L's.
okay.
Yeah, I'd still like the LFA. I thought that was
Okay.
much more of a.
I think LFA is a better looking car than this.
Let's take out the LFA because that was, come on, guys. It's, I mean, what,
That's the
500
heck of a
horsepower?
car.
Yeah,
Yeah,
500 units. And they don't build it anymore.
I've seen these cars. I think it looks pretty good.
It's a good looking car.
Yeah.
Like it really is.
I
Everyone
really think it
It-
might be the best looking Lexus, apart from the LFA.
driving around it turns heads
Ever.
and that's the
Yeah.
important thing.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, I like it. I'd recommend anyone to give it a go. I know that Tara's going to try and squeeze in with his bad back later today.
You're never going to make it.
No,
You'll never get out.
you'd
Trust
call
me.
911 to get me out.
It'll
of
be fine. We'll just crowbar him out.
Okay, so last thing we do is go ahead and show some of these shirts that you want
There we
to.
go. Maybe a lucky viewer can have one of these, right?
Oh, maybe. Is there going to be a competition? Oh, what is the competition for? Is it trying to
very
find
nice.
out
We should try to figure something out.
GTR.
if whoever gets closest to
GTChannel.
the real story of what happened to Sam's back?
My back is fine. It's his
Is
back.
that,
My
is
back
that
is
the
fine.
competition?
My back is fine.
So which design do you like the most? Look at this one, the OG. This one's called OG.
The OG.
Okay. Believe it or not, I think I like the one with the GTR on it. What do you think?
What do you think?
James?
I like the pink.
That's our signature
That's
tee.
our signature.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you can
what I like.
you can have that one, James.
Oh,
You
thank
can
you.
wear it around.
Alright.
I think
Look at
the
that.
Kiwi's a big fan of it too.
You guys got to make
We
one
don't
dog
have
size.
dog
Yeah.
size,
Oh,
but we do
next
have kid size ones too.
Oh, maybe
yeah,
it'd fit
yeah.
Kiwi.
We do have kid size.
So, anyways, that's our show for today. So, thank you guys.
Sorry for the
Technical
Facebook
difficulties.
Wasn't our fault?
It really wasn't our fault because
Yeah.
Facebook went down. They had issues today, and it's even in the news on USA Today. And we weren't able to go live, but we were able to bring the show
To you still.
recorded,
Yeah,
a
pre-recorded.
recorded version.
So, a lot of good information, a lot of future stuff that we covered here today. So, anything else?
Well, you can always find myself at No Breaking on Facebook and Instagram. or nobraking.com. That's NOBRAKING. You can also find Kaiju Kiwi at Kaiju Kiwi on Instagram. Sam,
which is down today.
Where can they find you?
Facebook, Instagram.
Prototype Novel on Instagram.
And yeah, Prototype Novel on Instagram. There's a site for that. And book is available at Amazon and Barnes & Noble. Just put in Sam Matani, the Prototype. It's doing really well. We've gotten, I haven't received a bad review yet. I think I have a Kirkus review coming and a Midwestern something review. That's what my publisher told me. So things are going good.
And
Taro?
you can find us on GTChannel, on Facebook, on YouTube, obviously, and please visit us on GTChannel.com, where we have our new enhanced video player.
Very cool.
Which
very
you can
cool.
tag all the micro moments within the video, and they're like live links where it takes you to where you can buy the parts or, find out more information about what you're seeing in the video. So that's kind of our new thing. Love to hear some feedback about that.
And maybe even if you're twisting your arm, you might even be able to see the reviews I do on there as well at some point.
Yes, the blog section will be.
It's coming.
It's
coming.
We'll be up, yeah. But the enhanced video player actually is getting a makeover this week, so you'll see some more features available on the site. So we're really pushing that forward, and would love to hear your feedback on that too.
As always, thank you. It's
Okay,
a pleasure.
great. So we'll see you next month. Hopefully we'll have Facebook going strong then, and we'll have a true live cast. Other than that,
If you have questions, just leave them in the comments. Questions about Sam's back, about Tara's back, about my back, any questions like that, just leave them in the comments. We'd love to hear them, as always.
so see you next month.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching.